To be 2, capital G here. We got some epic OTK duels for you guys to check out. And based on pretty much how both players are going to open, neither one of these duels should actually be close. Sometimes your opponent just has what people like to call the nuts. That means that they have everything that they could have possibly ever wanted, and you don't really have the appropriate tools to counter them. Thus, you are about to get rolled, son, and you're probably just going to auto lose the duel. This is a perfect example. You can see 6 samurai are going first. The samurai great player at the top does have one piece of disruption. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit uses it pretty early. Maybe, I don't know if that was the right play there, because your opponent still gets to summon. You probably don't expect them to have the extender, but he does, and once he gets to Isode, it's pretty much going to be a good time from there. Also, he's playing the Bamboo Engine, which if I was playing 6 samurai, I personally would play, because it allows you to just get massive amounts of pluses. And you can see with just the amount of cards he has on his hand before even using Summon Sorceress for that nice little plus there, he probably, right here, you could look at this hand and be like, okay, Cap, this would have been, had we gone back one format, this is 100% a drop Rango on your opponent hand. He has so many extenders, Monster Reborn, Great Shogun Sheen. If his opponent has another hand trap, he already has the Called by the Grave, and he hasn't even made Saryuja Skull Dread, which most 6 samurai players were going to summon. So this is easily a Rango hand during the last format, but even without Rango, you can still make excellent turn 1 plays, and you guys will see that. There's a reason that he's running the Utopia, the rank up magic. I think that's Astral Force, if I'm not mistaken. You run that because a lot of these decks will go into your top Exexel, kind of like a Shockmaster for your opponent. Not just locking them out of monster effects, but locking them out of any card effects during their turn. So it's basically like Azathoth, but on crack. It's significantly better than Azathoth. He goes into your top Exexel, and sometimes you can actually wait out your top Exexel because your opponent might not have enough damage, because your top Exexel does it like generally or gradually will get weaker over time, losing 1,000 attack each turn. However, not when you're going to have Gossip Shadow, just like Rango, and you're going to say, you know what, take those 3 materials. This damn thing has, I think, 6 materials on it, so yeah, you're not gonna survive 6 turns. However, this guy has the old school Cap G tech, Lost Win. I'm liking it, man. Lost Win is actually a card that can counter it, because now you don't have any effect and you actually don't have any attack. The only attack it currently has is because it was linked up with the Saryuja Skull Dread. I don't know why on earth he did not set the Salamangreat Roar, because if your opponent kills you this turn, then it makes no difference if you set Roar. If you get another turn, then you definitely will need the Roar. So I thought it was really weird that he didn't play that, and he's almost going to get game tier. Not quite. The Lost Win actually did a ton of work there, not only negating the copy of your top Exexel, but actually keeping him in the game with only 500 life points. Let's see if he can actually pull it out. Now, he did have double copies of Lady Debug, which is never good. With Salamangreats, you don't want multiple copies of any card, because they're all hard once per turns, and he opts not to summon Lady Debug, but instead to go for the Foxy, which I was like, all right, let's see what he gets. Gets Circle, not bad, but then he gets Fusion of Fire, and I was like, hold up, this is actually possible. He's going to go for Mirage Stalio off summoning the level 3, gets Gazelle's going to drop Spinny in the graveyard. Now the problem is, when he activates Spinny, his opponent uses Called by the Grave. This is why, young Salamangreat player, you should have set that Salamangreat Roar. If you would have had Roar on the field, you would have been able to straight up negate the Called by the Grave and continue on with your play, but it doesn't even matter, because if you run Fusion of Fire and your opponent is foolish enough to put big link monsters on the field and not actually kill you, well, this is what you can do to them. You can activate Fusion of Fire, you can use your opponent's Saryuja Skull Dread, plus your Sunlight Wolf, and guess who just happens to be on the field with very low attack, and also attack that is different than its original attack, which I guess if it's question mark, it counts as 0. Yet your top Exexel is actually going to be the reason he technically loses this duel. It started out so good. He had 6 materials. It was looking like a free win, right, Cap? Nope, not free at all. Obviously, the effect of the Violet Chimera is going to activate. He just gets 1 shot. So yeah, that's one of the benefits about running, or the benefit of running Fusion of Fire. If you guys don't play Salamangreats and you ever wonder why there's this hot debate between why about half of the players run Fusion of Fire and Violet Chimera and about half of them don't, it's because if you do run Fusion of Fire, you get access to plays like this, and a lot of times you can kind of just pull OTKs out of your ass and win duels that you probably shouldn't have actually won. It's really good going second. Second duel, going to be a super improbable OTK. And this is another duel where it's just like, dude, this was just free turn one. He's dueling against Danger Orcus. He's playing border control, anti-meta, as I like to call it, or I guess anti-meta, border control, as I like to call it. There we go. And it's interesting because it's almost like that he looked at his deck and he said, I'm gonna go ahead and just watch a bunch of Cap videos and throw a bunch of cards that Cap G has been talking about over the last month or so, because he has Necro Valley on board. You guys know I've talked about how this card is amazing against the meta. It can shut almost everything down, but not just that, he plays even more Cap G tech, Summon Limit. I did an entire video on this card as well. I said if you get this card turn 0, it's free against literally every deck in the meta, not named Guru Control or Ultra guys. You're just gonna body them. I guess True Draco too, but basically half the meta will just get, they'll get wrecked by this. And then he has Banisher with a copy of Moon Mirror Shield. This matchup is 100% free. There's almost no way that he could lose this unless his opponent just went inner battle phase evenly match. That's basically all he would have, because he's never going to get cards into the graveyard. Even if he did get cards into the graveyard, he wouldn't be able to move them or banish them at all because of Necro Valley. And then if that wasn't bad enough, his link play is probably not going to happen because he has Summon Limit as well. So it's just going to be rough sledding. And you can see here, and by the way, if you guys are wondering why he's running Forma Skipper, it basically turns I believe it's a 1-card Nightmare Mermaid, because Ferment Skipper can it can copy the name of an extra deck monster. So I believe what you do is you like normal summon it, you go Nightmare Phoenix or Cerberus or whatever the other crappy link to Nightmare monster you want to turn it into, and then you go straight into Mermaid. So it's basically like a 1-card Mermaid. Some people were actually doing it in the OCG. Now it looks like he is getting a little bit of hope with that Twin Twister, but not really. His opponent activates Curse of the Forbidden Seal. Who even runs that? No, Curse of the Forbidden Spell? Not Seal. Forbidden Spell, I believe. Yes, Forbidden Spell. And guess what? Now you can't activate Twin Twisters for the rest of the duel. So rest in Paps. He's going to set 1 card, and he gets the border, and he has There Can Only Be One. Even more floodgates to just make his opponent have 0 chance of being able to play. I think he's actually going to do the play here. Activates There Can Only Be One. He's going to turn it into a Nightmare Cerberus, and then he goes into Nightmare Phoenix. So yeah, Ferment Skipper is actually like, it's kind of spicy under the radar tech for Orcus. Some players don't know about it, but it's actually quite good, because instead of playing 2 cards to go into your Mermaid, you basically just normal summon this, activate the effect, and then go into Mermaid. It's not really going to matter. I think that he's given up on this duel at this point, but then we're going to see something I don't think I've ever seen. Double Mage Power. Now keep in mind, this is for, it's 500 for every spell and trap. Now usually when you see Mage Power, even 2 Mage Power, your opponent doesn't have a field spell as well. So his monster, his Inspective Border is going through the roof. He's going to attack for that 100 damage against the Nightmare Mermaid, and then he's actually just going to attack for 8,000 damage and one-shot his opponent. I mean, I had never seen an Inspector Border OTK before, but I guess there's a first time for everything. So hopefully you guys enjoyed these short duels. If you guys did, give the video a thumbs up. I mean, man, just Floodgate City. Floodgate, 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 Floodgate. You know what this guy needs? More floodgates. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos.